Alright guys, here's our high tier. High tier, basically, these are the characters we often see making big moves at events. They are typically amazing and well-rounded characters, but traditionally have one weakness that can hold them back from being perfect. These characters may often win regionals, and seeing them upset a major isn't outside of possibility. So these are where we start with the really good characters in this game. Starting off with Yoshi. Yoshi's an amazingly solid character, has tons of tools. Yoshi does have the potential to get gimped, which can hurt in the long run, but best shield in the game, amazing out of shield options, the Nair that covers both sides. Yoshi's gotten 4 local wins recently, and the character to me is a really good character to pick the game up with because you can, in a sense, mash with him and actually find pretty good success. All his aerials are good, all his smash attacks are sort of one of those cock back and smash attack that are quick there. His up B egg is easy to use and has a lot of range. His damage output is insane, especially if you look at his down air. His back air is really safe and is a good kill move. This character can win nationals, I think, and it's only a matter of time before someone really pushes him far past the limit where he's at. In high tier, I also have Greninja. Greninja, imagine a character that had movement like Sheik, but also disjointed moves that killed. That's Greninja. He has a bit of a slower grab too, without being too disjointed, which can make their game plan a bit more one-dimensional. We would see more Greninja results, pre-quarantine, and while there's been 2 recent wins, it's not really what we used to see. I am still waiting for Greninja to really push this character, further than what we've seen. But we're no stranger now to how well good Greninja players can utilize things like the water gun, like the drag down up smash setups, using good down tilts, using that substitute as a very deep edge guard tool. We've seen this Greninja move very quickly across the screen, so seeing that again in person or online, it could happen. I just think a lot of people are more familiar with this character, but by no means is it weak. Definitely a high tier character. Also in high tier, I have Pichu, which is also a Pokemon in high tier. Pichu had probably the most famous, nerf in the game. Like Inkling, people learned a lot how to play against them. Without Void really on the character anymore, it's only been a trend down in usage. Void was like the premier character, or premier user of Pichu. However, Pichu is still solid. It can make some waves, especially as a counter pick. But here's the big issue with Pichu, and I'll keep this brief. Just play Pikachu instead. Why not play Pikachu at this point? You know how good Pikachu is. I don't need to gush on this. It's really hard to justify playing Pichu when Pikachu's right there. You know I'm right. We also have Inkling in high tier. Inkling at this point doesn't really have any reason to drop below this tier yet. Surprisingly though, has not won any events lately. If we don't see any noteworthy results from upcoming majors, it might be time to move Inkling back down to upper mid tier. They used to be considered like a top tier character when the game first came out. Of course, a lot has changed. A lot of things were utilized for this character, which if you're patient enough, they're a pain in the ass to deal with. But if you know their sort of game plan, it's very flow charty. You can get around a lot of things. Not quite the oppressive tool that they used to be, but having that paint roller that grounds you, really good back air, really good aerials, really good keep away game. You gotta be patient with them, but a lot of people don't know how to fight against them. But still, I put them high tier. Also in high tier, I have Mega Man. Mega Man, the players that have used him continue to and haven't really moved on to new characters. They're sort of like die-hard aficionados for this character. Mega Man did pick up a few wins recently and really shines in matchups where the opponent can't catch up to them or deal with projectiles. So if you have a big body or someone who's not, as fast as most characters, Mega Man's a really, really big pain, and especially with gear setups, especially with just a good keep away game, using the pellet gun, all the lemons in your face. If you use that properly, he's a pain in the ass, and I can see why a lot of people haven't dropped him yet. I can see him winning a tournament still, even after the very famous early nerf this character had. He can still win nationals, my eyes. So Mega Man, high tier. Also in high tier, I have Olimar. Olimar got a slight buff in patch 11.0. He generally requires more skill than other characters in high tier. He hasn't won any locals lately, but we've seen what this character can do, and strong players like DeBuzz and Myron show what he can do. I'm confident the upcoming majors will show, justice for this character. Any character that has like one of the most brutal keep away games, one of the most brutal defensive game plans, is gonna be high tier. You can still throw so many projectiles and so many Pikmin at your opponents, force them to approach. You can bleed them out. You can tilt people. His recovery, even though it's a little slow, is hard to catch. And at the same time, if you know how to fit the Pikmin, have a good lineup, especially with purple Pikmin, this character becomes a menace. So you fight a good Olimar, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Just a monster of a character. So it's all a matter of time, guys. This character's gonna win a major very, very soon. High tier also includes Sonic. I was hoping we'd start to see less usually for Sonic going back in person, but he's actually won 4 events recently. So offline Sonic has actually been doing pretty well. He consistently has high usage, and we did see Ken take the set over Aaron at Summit in a way that shows if Diddy continues to rise, Sonic could be a decent check to him. So has a lot of potential. So Sonic has a lot of potential after we saw Ken take the set over Aaron at Summit. So if Diddy continues to rise, it could be a decent check to Diddy Kong. And a lot of other characters. Remember, Sonic does have the fastest running speed in the game, and speed, no matter how weak or strong your character is something to really never ever ignore. Sonic's been a consistently good character, especially in Smash 4, and in Ultimate, while not as good, he still is very, very decent, high tier character. Again, it's a game of patience, and using that spin dash over and 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 over. Next up, we have Ness. Same thing as Sonic, wanting to not deal with online Ness players, but now we've got 9 events recently won by numerous Ness players. One of the most used characters in locals has been winning. Send, formerly known as Best Ness, is continuing to do very well offline as others. And with Ness, you know what's there to say, has the best air dodge in the game, which makes his recovery pretty unpredictable. Has incredible pressure with projectiles, really, really good aerials, really good frame data. You can't rush the character down, you have to wait for him to whiff. And of course, he has that sort of panic crit option with PK2 Thunder. So you gotta respect him. At this point, everyone's fought a good Ness. You know it's a good character. He's a high tier. Ryu and Ken, to me, are also in high tier. Ryu had a slight buff in patch 12.0. Similar to Chrom and Roy, both are very similar, but with slight differences. Ken will always edge out slightly more than Ryu, just because he has, just ever so slightly different functions with Shoryu and some of his moves, which make him stronger. Ryu is a bit better on a projectile and distance game, which doesn't really fit the character design as well as Ken does with his strengths. Shoryuken alone is almost reason enough to make him a high tier character. I mean, it kills so early in a game like Ultimate, it's actually hard to believe. Between the two characters, they've actually picked up 3 recent wins. And with Ryu and Ken, it comes down to it. This character just requires time, it requires learning the inputs, and it requires learning what can really cancel into itself in terms of their jab setups, shield pressure, and finding the best way to get that Shoryu combo and finish people off. So he's a character, they do auto turnarounds, they have a bit of an explodable recovery, but on the ground, be very, very careful if they touch your shield. You might fucking die. With no surprise, also joining them high tier is Terry. But to my surprise, Terry alone has picked up just as many wins as Ryu and Ken combined. Imagine Ryu and Ken, but a bit more consistent and an easier skill curve. That's basically Terry. Go, the incredibly strong comic mechanic, can absolutely shift the battle. And like I said, if you're ever behind with Terry and you're above 100%, both Buster Wolf and Power Gazer can really destroy your opponent. He's got really, really simple setups with jab, like up B, jab, power dunk, strong aerials. He has a spike that can destroy off the stage. He's good. He's a really good character. He's relatively straightforward compared to the other ones, and that's why he's been more popular than Ryu and Ken. So all 3 of those characters all together in the same tier. And we have the best Link in the game, which is Young Link, who got a slight buff in patch 11.0. The reason he's the best Link in the game in high tier is because he's the epitome of projectile camping in this game. He's incredibly fast, and he can spam projectiles, so he can convert projectiles into kills. And low-key, Boomerang, able to be -4 and shield is one of the most bullshit things in this game, but it exists. He's actually raked up 3 wins lately. The first one that comes to mind for me is Skittles, who's Nebraska's pride and joy, who was able to win almost many of the events in his region. But his setups that at this point we're very familiar with. Sort of you can do single hit back air into up smashes. You can do a lot of combo games with fire arrows. You can use bombs in an impressive way. The Boomerang, again, very, very good on shield or from a distance. Really, really good frame data. One of the fastest aerial conversions in the game. Recovery, which is actually very, very decent. That's Young Link. He has a really good matchup spread, and even though he might struggle in some, nothing is unwinnable for him, and to me, he'll be high tier for the rest of this game's existence. In high tier, I also have Cloud. Though it seems we haven't seen much from Cloud lately, we still have some high level use from him, from secondary picks from Spargo and Cola. Even outside of Spargo and Cola, there's been 5 different wins from Cloud alone last month. Again, this character, at this point you're all familiar, has Limit Break, which is a really good comeback tool. Really, really good aerials, incredibly strong kill potential. The recovery is his weakest part. If you throw him off the ledge, and You hit him once, he's probably a sitting duck, but if he has limit break, he can recover from almost anything. One of the funniest things, though, is if you use Kazuya and use a special back throw on Cloud, the angle he's at can actually come at 0. It's actually hilarious. I think it happened at Summit. So, but yeah, a lot of Cloud players have been moving to another certain top tier, which we'll get to later. But yeah. In high tier, I actually also have Captain Falcon. Captain Falcon to me is so close to hitting that next threshold of characters. Fatality is really starting to make his case stronger with the character. But he couldn't win the qualifying MSM against the Summit, so we're going to need some more top data from these majors to justify where this character moves from here. It is Captain Falcon, you know. He's been in every corner of the tier list at this point without the Smash games. But to me, he's definitely a high tier character in Ultimate. I mean, his skill potential is hard to match with so many other characters, and you have to respect it. So Fatality, Nick C, and other players, I really want to see how far they can push it because he's one of the most entertaining characters to watch, and his up smash and his newly buffed recovery with up B, they make him a very, very strong character. So I want to see more. Another melee diehard I have in high tier is Falco, who, my god, the combos I've seen from this character recently are insane. Some of the best combo games in the cast. He has incredibly good frame data. Tons of great players using him now, and this stands to me as Tilde from New York, who's doing a lot of work. He has 5 offline wins recently and many more top 8s at harder events. Guys, keep your eyes on Falco. This character will continue to make moves. I think people are just starting to realize how good he is. And press 1 in the comments if you've ever been cutscene comboed by a Falco. I bet it's a lot of ones. Diddy Kong in high tier. We've always thought that Diddy Kong was good, but we were just waiting for the next breakout thing, and finally we have it with Tweak. It's recency bias for sure, but it's not just Tweak doing Diddy justice. He did win Summit. We also have Aaron who's putting in hella work. This character, look, by design, you can't make Diddy Kong bad in a Smash game. You can't make a character with that sort of aerial game and banana bad, right? So that's what it boils down to, you know? So Diddy Kong, high tier. In high tier, I also have Chrom, and just Chrom. We previously ranked Roy and Chrom together next to each other for overall similarity and success, but for right now, I'm putting Chrom here in high tier. He's an incredibly strong character, but he does die a little sooner compared to his counterpart, and he doesn't quite have the amount of results he used to when people contemplate him as a character. So that recovery, which is a lot more vertical and a lot more risky, does to me put him a tier below, even though him and Roy are so similar. So Chrom to me is simply a high tier character. Another sortie in high tier will be Ike. We've known Ike to be strong, and he's only gotten better from patches. Oddly enough, he hasn't really got any results lately, but it could be a worrying sign for for things to come. If he can't overcome some problem matchups from zoners, he's going to be in big trouble. Again, Ike, incredibly good nair, incredibly good up out of shield, super duper strong, had a lot of results in the past, but people really have figured this character out, so I'm interested to see what will happen with him. To round out high tier, I have Sephiroth. Sephiroth didn't make as big of a splash as other DLCs initially, but he has gotten 7 tourney wins, and lately he's done a lot of things. When you think about top players like Tweak, his character is definitely a menace offline. He has a lot of incredible options. So I really wouldn't be surprised to see him win nationals more often. Again, he has the results to prove it, and he's DLC, so of course Nintendo gave him lots of love and incredible range, incredible strength. He's light, so he dies early from some things, but also that Octo Slash can be used for recoveries, lots of mix-ups, and its own even, all or nothing kamikaze kill potential. So definitely an entertaining character to watch. Players like Ned really pushing the envelope with him, and I love watching him. So Sephiroth high tier. All right, guys, so that's going to cover our high tier, and next up, of course, we're going to have the top tier characters in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.